Hello and welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Thursday, December 14th, 2017. Just want to read our disclaimer quickly. Trading stocks is a high level of risk and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed as investment advice, not making any recommendations, always for your further homework. Good morning, Sue here with video number 306 in our regular Thursday morning video series. Been an interesting week. The U.S. Federal Reserve met yesterday for the last time in the year, and Janet Yellen's last public appearance as Fed chair, and decided to raise interest rates a quarter point. The market had a somewhat muted reaction to it, so we'll see how that data is digested in the days ahead. But with that, let's get into today's video. If you're a regular viewer, then you well know I always start these videos off with a look at the Russell Index. I use the Russell as my simple proxy for the markets overall. If the Russell is moving higher, I'm adding new names to my watch list. If the Russell is moving lower, I'm sitting tight and just watching my stops. And so for that, I use the IWM, which is the ETF that represents the Russell 2000. And I like to step back and take a look at it on a 5-year monthly time frame. I like that bigger picture look. So we've been keeping an eye on this wedge that's been forming on the Russell since the very beginning of the year. As a reminder, this blue line is long-term support resistance. We're kind of ignoring it for now. And we've really been focusing on this wedge identified by the orange line down here that has held price in throughout the year, and this black diagonal line here that has held price in on the upside. You can see all these candles where the black diagonal line held price in until the month of September, where we had a bullish candle pushing us up and over that area. October had a little bit of an undecided candle with a doji. November had a bullish candle with a long wick, and here we are right now for the month of December. So we're halfway through the month. The candle so far is red. It needs to start picking up in price to complement November. We'll see if it can do that. So I'm going to move it away from the monthly to the 2-year weekly so we can better see that price behavior. Same orange line, same black diagonal line. We had this purple line drawn in a couple of weeks ago as a short-term area of price resistance. I'll explain it to you a little bit more when we get to the daily, but I want you to just see this weekly chart of the Russell. Last week was soft. This week so far a little bit undecided, so we need to see and pay attention to the next couple of days. I'm going to move it away from the weekly to the 6-month daily. Here's that same purple line. I'm going to get rid of it now because it was the line as the Russell was moving lower. We drew this line in saying, okay, if this price trend is going to resume to the upside, it's going to have to move through that purple line, which it did, so I'm going to remove it now. And I use this blue line as my guide. When price on the Russell is trading up and over the blue on the daily, I am adding new names to my watch list. So as you can see, price closed up and over the blue ever so slightly yesterday. So we'll see if we get some follow through today. We need to get that follow through. Some weakness came into the market at the end of the day, creating this wick. But with that, I am going to be not putting a new name forward actually. I want to review an old name that I think looks really interesting here. And so with price on the Russell up and over the 8-day EMA ever so slightly on the daily chart, I am going to feature a chart today. It's actually an old Chart of the Day Cafe pick. It's Vale, ticker symbol VALE. Trades on the New York Stock Exchange. Let me tell you a little bit more about Vale. It's a big global producer of iron ore and iron ore pellets used in steel making. There's an emphasis on nickel with this company, also involved in thermal coal and potash. They are based out of Brazil, and you know at Chart of the Day Cafe, it is all about value and growth. I really care about the fundamentals underneath the charts I feature, and Vale has a really nice high value score, excellent value score. Also a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 35%, a current PE of 9.89, and a small dividend yield of 0.91%. So with that, let's get into the chart. We're looking at the 2-year weekly. You can see on the 2-year weekly chart, Vale's in a nice uptrend. Here's this little green circle is where I first featured Vale for Chart of the Day Cafe as my value pick. It was in May of this year. I think it was the 13th. I'm not sure. Anyway, we're looking at the weekly chart. It came down a little bit further from there, but it's all about putting them on a watch list and watching for that pickup up and over the 8-day EMA. It's had a beautiful run since then, consolidated here, and it's trading in a pattern that would suggest, should the market continue higher, I wouldn't be too surprised to see Vale continue higher as well. So I'm going to move it away from the 2-year weekly chart to the 6-month daily so we can better see how price is behaving. So you can see it came down, touched our trend line, moved higher. It consolidated here in the last 4 or 5 days, and it looks poised to possibly make a move higher and resume the uptrend from here. We will see. You know, sometimes I mention the trigger that I use, and I'm going to just zoom it in here, really zoom it in, and it's the 3 and 8. So I know everyone has their own way of doing things, but this is one suggested way that I do sometimes, and that is when the pink, which is the 3 EMA, moves over the blue, which is the 8-day EMA, it triggers. So as you can see, Vale is trying to move. The pink is actually over the blue, but it needs a little more confirmation from me and to get a genuine lift up and out of this area. So just wanted to show you that it does have that 3 and 8 EMA cross. With our featured chart, we also like to take a look at the sector that it's in, and for that I'm going to look at 2 ETFs. The first one is SLX, which is the ETF for the steel sector. We're looking at the 2-year weekly chart. You can see on the 2-year weekly, nice uptrend, and like Vale has been consolidating for a number of days. We're looking at the weekly, mind you, but I just want you to note the uptrend that the steel sector is in overall. The second one is the materials ETF, which is XLB. Again, just like Vale, beautiful uptrend on the 2-year weekly and still showing that price strength. I also like to take a look at seasonality, and for that I go to equityclock.com. Excellent site, can't recommend it enough. I think it's just terrific because I want to see, does my watch list pick have seasonal favor? And as you can see, Vale has that strong price strength at the back half of the year, so seasonal favor is there. Also, I like to go to finviz.com, which is a terrific site to see if I've got analyst support for my pick, and as you can see, Vale has a number of recent upgrades. Really nice to see. I'm also going to include this article about Vale and its nickel production. There's an interest in nickel for batteries for the new electric cars, so it's part of that big secular trend as well in the electric car space. And so to summarize, let's go back and check our boxes. I started today's video with a look at the Russell Index, and we note that overall the Russell is in an uptrend and price is currently up and over the 8-day EMA on the daily chart, which I use as my guide. Check the box. We looked at the sector that Vale is in, the 2 ETFs, SLX and XLB. We note that they are in an uptrend on the 2-year chart and showing that price strength. We looked at the chart for Vale. It's in an uptrend on the 2-year chart, has been consolidating and may start to lift in this area, emphasis on May. It's got an excellent value score. It's got an excellent growth score with a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 35%, a current dividend yield of 0.91%. It does have a 3 and 8 EMA daily cross, so I'm checking that box, but it is just, so I would be waiting for confirmation today. I want to see a little more lift on the chart. It's got seasonality in its favor. It's got analyst support, as we saw on FinViz, current PE of 9.89, and they have not announced their earnings date yet. As a reminder, these videos go out every Tuesday and Thursday morning. I do my very best to screen and hunt for the best looking charts with the best fundamentals underneath them, curate important information around those charts that I think it's good for you to know, and deliver it on a timely basis. If you like receiving these videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting the red subscribe button on the YouTube homepage. And I wanted to say thanks for watching today. I will be away on holidays until the 2nd week of January, so I wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas and the best of the holiday season. We'll see you in January. Stay safe, stay well.